Hey everybody, what's up?
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to this week's episode of the Hollywood Hubbies Film Club. My name is Brandon,
And my name is Jeffrey.
and last week we did our review on Mary Poppins. If you want to go back and give it a listen, that would be awesome. Make sure you watch the movie before you listen in.
At the end of every episode, we're going to be spinning a wheel to figure out what the movie is going to be for next week. Remember, we're doing the top 25 movie musicals, so it's not in any particular order. We're going to tell you what that movie is ahead of time so you have time to watch it and be ready for the next episode.
So, this week's episode is Chicago.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Chicago was released in 2002. It is a musical black comedy crime film based on the 1975 stage musical, which in turn originated as the 1926 play. Its themes are celebrity, scandal, corruption in Chicago during the Jazz Age.
I know that you love stage plays as well.
Mhm.
Have you ever read the original 1926 play?
I haven't. I have not. That would be something cool to order.
I know we saw an old black and white movie. I don't remember if it was silent or not. I don't remember if it was called Chicago or if it was called Roxy Hart. I think Roxy Hart is a Ginger Rogers movie. So
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
I think we watched both. Anyway, I just didn't know if you had actually read the play.
No, I haven't. The stage musical, obviously, I've read
Mm-hmm.
that, but no, not the original stage play.
You'll have to get a copy.
Right? The film stars Renee Zellweger, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Richard Gere, John C. Reilly, and Queen Latifah. The film marks the feature directorial debut of Rob Marshall, was written by Bill Condon with music and lyrics by John Gander and Fred Ebb.
The film won 6 Academy Awards in 2003, including Best Picture, making it the first musical to win Best Picture since Oliver in 1968. Best Art Direction, Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing, Best Sound, and of course, Catherine Zeta-Jones won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. So I know we've watched this movie hundreds, thousands of times, but what is your first or fondest memory of watching Chicago?
Well, it's something that I remember going to see with my mom because I knew that she was gonna appreciate it as much as I was gonna appreciate it. I definitely remember taking her to the movie theaters to see this, so that's a memory that sticks out to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Had she seen it on stage before?
no.
Had you seen it on stage before?
Y- yes, I had to have. I
Okay.
had to have. Absolutely.
So you took your mom. How many other times did you see it in theaters?
Oh my gosh. Many times, multiple times with friends, with theater friends. Yeah, it definitely was a repeat, a
Yeah.
repeat watch for sure. What about you? What's like the fondest memory that you can remember, or something that sticks out about it?
Well, this is one of the musicals that I did not really know until the movie came out. Like I'm sure I knew songs from it, like all that jazz.
Hmm.
But had never seen it on stage. And I remember this was when I was working at a movie theater, my first job. And I remember when the posters had come in, the preview, and just how excited people were about this movie. And I really did not know much about it at all, but I just, I liked musicals, so I knew I was going to see it. And I, I just fell in love. I thought it was the coolest movie, the coolest musical. It was just so different than anything I'd ever seen before. Um, because I worked at the theater, there would be downtime, and I would find myself like sneaking into a theater to go watch like
That's
20
cool.
minutes of it, or like on my lunch break. But I was obsessed. And then one more thing that I have to bring up, just because it always reminds me of this movie, is that at that theater, there was this one older couple. They were the sweetest people, and they came in opening weekend and every single weekend after to see Chicago, and they brought their pillows and their blankets, like they like because our theaters were
Oh.
cold, and it was like their date night every week. And I remember I was so sad because there was one weekend, I think it was posted in the newspaper that we were going to be having a showing, and they showed up and they wanted their 2 tickets for Chicago, and we had to tell them that it was gone.
Oh
And they were
no.
so sad, even though they had already seen it, I don't know how many times, but they had to just choose a random movie.
That
And I
is
remember feeling so
heartbreaking.
bad, even though like they didn't miss it.
That's heartbreaking.
But it was just they were the sweetest. They were so cute.
Now, obviously, me being from the theater world, were you familiar with Candor and Ebb, like Cabaret or Zorba or anything like that,
Um,
or even Fosse?
I honestly I think, like I had said, a lot of the movie musicals that I had seen were when I was younger in elementary school. I mean, obviously, I saw movies between Chicago and then, but I just know a lot of them that I watched must have been more like family friendly.
Sure, more like
'Cause
Rogers and Hart, Rogers and Hammerstein.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I think I knew of them and then I just never got around to watching them. I know once we started dating, you definitely told me about other movies like you should watch this, you should watch that. And I don't think I had seen Cabaret because that was way too like
Mature.
mature. Um but yeah, I again, I think I knew the music, I just didn't know very much of like what they were about, I guess.
Yeah, or like Fosse. Like you obviously knew who Fosse and Gwyn Verdon were, but you didn't really like deep dive into much about them until much later on.
Yes. Well, I knew Gwen Verdon because I knew Damn Yankees.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I love that movie. So, um,
I think there are a lot of composers and directors, even writers, where you can tell their style. And,
mm-hmm.
Kander and Ebb definitely have a stamp on their style of music. Fosse, obviously, has a stamp and was revolutionary for his
Yes.
style. So I think that it's interesting when we are going into these movie musicals
Hmm.
that we can definitely see the differences.
Oh no, we're not doing this.
We have a husky, you guys, and so sometimes she gets a little bit this is where people are going to wish we had a video, but
Oh
sometimes
my
she gets a
god.
little bit wanting to like push the
One
table
day.
and things like that. But yes, as I was saying, the stamp that these creatives leave on musical history,
Hmm.
it's pretty incredible.
Oh, totally.
So jumping into the movie here, the movie opens and we immediately are pushed through Roxy's eyes with a camera to hint at some sort of a dual dream state fantasy that we're about to watch. She's the first character we see, close up of her face, and it goes through her pupils. Is it obvious to everyone right from the like from the get-go, this is supposed to signify that we're kind of in like a dual dream state, right?
Mm. I think that Roxy is a dreamer, but I think that anytime she's in any sort of distress, I think she kind of goes into herself. So not only are some of her of the scenes her dreaming, I really think that like it's when she's overwhelmed, she goes into her head and she
Got it.
makes it a musical number. That's how I took it.
Yeah, it's like almost like an escape effect that she does.
Yes. I think it's brilliant. I think it's so cool that that's what they decided to do with this. Not only because it looks cool, and instead of them bursting into song and they're in the same costumes, it's like you get a number in a jazz club that they're going to be doing in Roxy's head.
Right.
And I think that's one of the reasons why this movie's so popular is because I think it makes it more accessible to people, because I know that a lot of my friends that are not musical theater buffs, when they go and see a movie where in the middle of the scene someone just breaks out into song, I think
Hmm.
it kind of throws them off.
Hmm.
So for it to be like deliberately we are in a scene and now we're in Roxy's head and we're seeing a jazz number. I
Like
think it makes it easier.
like they need some sort of a musical, like a structure to it to
Mm-hmm.
understand it, or so it's easier to digest pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. So our story begins in Chicago, 1924. Roxy Hart watching a vaudeville act that stars Velma Kelly performing all that jazz at the Onyx, which is a nightclub. Roxy's like seeking stardom. She begins an affair with a furniture salesman named Fred Casely. And after the show, Velma is arrested for killing her husband and sister upon catching them in bed together.
Mm.
So like from the get-go, like we're in the drama, you know?
Yes. So I think without a doubt that all that jazz is probably like the most well-known number from Chicago the movie. Like when people think of this movie, they really think of like Catherine Zeta-Jones in the black with all of the dancers. Like it's such a recognizable scene, and I honestly think that it's so iconic, and it's one of those scenes that like it's an award-winning scene. Like she the entire movie she earned her Oscar, but even with that one scene, I think that scene really solidified her win.
I wonder if she recorded that scene at the beginning of them shooting Chicago, or if that was like one of the last scenes that they recorded.
I don't know.
It'd be interesting to know where it fell in regards to how the film was shot.
Well, she was on.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool scene. All the dancers are great. It's also not overly Fosse choreographed.
No. It's I think that
It's like Diet Fosse.
well yeah, I mean even when we just recently watched the movie, we had there was a theater that was replaying the movie for I don't know if it was an anniversary. Anyway, we went to go see it, and I think that was the one of the first things that I told you when we left the theater was watching it so many years later after us being together and learning more about Fosse and all of this. Like that was one of the first things I noticed after seeing Chicago on stage so many times,
Oh,
the
sure.
difference between Fosse's original choreography or Anne Reinking's choreography in the style of Fosse
Mm-hmm.
compared to the movie. I think both work so well, but you totally can see the differences in like the arms and the way
Definitely.
like Fosse's moves are so sharp and the choreography in the movie.
Well, it's Denise Faye, but also Rob Marshall. Like they co-choreographed it.
Oh, okay. You could totally see the difference in the original choreography, the revival choreography, and the movie, but it just all works so well.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think it's just a perfect balance without it being too theatrical and
Mm-hmm.
showy. So a month later, Casely admits to Roxy that he had lied about some connections to show business that he had in order to get her into bed. She gets pissed off, he throws her around the room, and she ends up shooting him dead.
As
So
one does.
she convinces her gullible husband Amos to take the fall by telling the DA that he had killed a burglar in order to protect his wife. When the evidence of Roxy's affair is uncovered, Amos changes his mind and tells the police officer that Casely was already dead when he had arrived home. And then we cut to, a Roxy dream state, which is her performing Funny Honey, and Roxy's arrested. I mean, Fred's pretty abusive to her. I think I may have shot him too.
Yeah.
it's
You
it's
know,
pretty rough, that scene.
it's rough, but it's like 0 to 100, like for no reason.
Yeah, and the way she hits that dresser, it really looks like Renee like could have been hurt
I
in
know.
that scene.
Was that a stunt
I don't
double?
know, but that scene, honestly, when I was watching it recently, I was like, oh, I would have shot the guy too. Like, no joke.
Yeah, I just didn't understand. Like he just gets so angry so quick. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? Like it just was. It was rather abrasive.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Okay, so Funny Honey. This peach dress is legit one of my favorite costumes in the entire movie. And this performance, I mean, I think the orchestration, retooling the song the way that they did for the movie versus the stage version,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels better in the movie than it does on stage, in my opinion.
Mm.
And anyone who has ever seen the stage version, if you want to comment about it, but I feel like Funny Honey in on screen is better than on stage. Um, and just real quick before you take over, if
Take
you
over. I never take over. I just have my notes.
um if you notice in the crowd during this performance, all of the figures in the crowd, they're like frozen. They're almost like all mannequins. It's really really cool. Cool like
Hmm.
cinematography touch.
Like they weren't moving, or
No, at
they
all.
were
I
like,
don't think they're moving like at all.
oh.
And then you just see like smoke coming off of like people's like cigarettes or like, glares on like, champagne glasses and things. That scene very much reminds me of Cabaret and the cinematography in Cabaret.
Yeah, I can see similarities in certain scenes, that being one of them. Um, yeah, I agree. I love Roxy's outfit. Another thing I noticed from the first scene to this scene, Renee Zellweger, her features in this like 20s makeup, like it fits her face so perfectly. Like the tiny lips, like the little like heart-shaped lips and the eye makeup and everything. She looks like a silent movie star. Like if she were alive in the 20s, she really would have been a star, because those were the type of faces like Clara Bow. And
Sure.
like I think that she had those features that just matches that era
I
so
agree.
perfectly.
I agree.
And yes, I think that the number works so well on in the film. I love her on the piano screaming at him while he's in the chair with the spotlight on him. It's all so well done and so well thought out. Like they really thought these numbers out to make them like perfection.
So Roxy's arrested for Fred's murder and sent to Cook County Jail. We meet the basically like the den mother of Murder's Row, which is Mama Morton, matron Mama Morton. She performs the number When You're Good to Mama. Okay, Queen Latifah. Can we talk about some perfect casting for this role?
Perfection.
I don't even know who else they could have gotten for this role. Do we know who else was up for this role? Like, I don't.
I think I had read online that he originally had either asked and she wasn't available, or she declined. But I think I read that he had asked Kathy Bates.
Oh, interesting.
I think that would be a totally different character. I think it would have given up very much Kathy Bates as Miss Hannigan in the TV Annie.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't think I
know.
could have. I don't think I could see it.
No, because Mama Morton she has to be like a little bit sweet and a little bit salty, like you, or not even salty, like spicy, because
Sure,
like
sure.
she's, I mean, that's literally what the song is about. But I mean, like, you have to trust in the fact that like she will be good to you, but then she is in charge and she'll check you.
Yeah, no.
So, and I think that her Queen Latifah in this role is perfection.
Yeah, and she looks stunning. I think now this costume, the way this costume is designed, definitely the best costume of the movie, in my opinion.
You can't say that. You already picked your best
No, no,
costume.
no. I said that was one of my favorites. This is
Oh.
the peach dress is one of my favorite costumes.
Okay,
This
technicalities.
this costume is definitely the best costume of the movie.
I can agree. I don't have my list. I didn't have my list prepared
That's
of
okay. I have three other favorite outfits that are coming up.
Just don't say you're the favorite.
No, this one for sure though I think is the absolute best costume of the film. It's done really
Oh my
really well.
gosh, it's giving body. Her
Yeah, seriously.
her
Her
twin
bust.
her twins are
Bustin'.
luscious. Um yeah, I have such I think this award uh this award year was so hard for me because you have three women that all deserved Oscars, but only one of them won. And I was upset that Renee didn't win Best Actress. I thought she should have.
Mm,
And I was upset that Catherine and Queen were in the same category
mm.
because I would have been happy if either of them won. But if for the other who lost, I was sad because Queen Latifah in this role deserved an Oscar.
Because it's too big of like to be considered even like a featured role. Like let's say there was a different type of category, because it really is another supporting
Mm-hmm.
role.
Well, I know that we disagree on this, but I think that Velma should have been in the lead category. And I think that Queen, if she had been in the supporting alone, would have won. Now, then we would have gone into sadness for them, Renee and Catherine competing against each other. But I do think that in the film, now it is Roxy's story, but Catherine is working in this movie. She is a lead character. I think they put her in supporting so that she would win an Oscar,
Well, I'm not going to debate that argument with you.
but she should have been a lead.
Well, I'm not going to debate that argument with you, but I think that with the movie, I do feel that it's more clear that Roxy is the lead of this movie.
I disagree.
Now on stage, I do feel it's a little bit more evenly matched.
I disagree.
This is why, of course, that category is both for lead and these actors, and on stage, both of those women were nominated in and put in the lead category. It just happened to work out that Anne Reinking also won a Tony because she choreographed Chicago on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, magic for them because BB Newirth got to
Yes.
take home an Oscar a Tony for lead, and Anne also still got to win a Tony.
Mm-hmm. I think that Velma is a lead on stage. I think that Velma is a lead in the movie. If you were going to ask me which she was less of a lead, I would say on stage, because at the end of the movie you don't even really get like an ending to her character. I know we're going way ahead. We have so much movie to go through, but we can talk about this later. You can cut this out.
But I don't know if you need to know if Velma gets out of prison. It's not her story. It's Roxy's story.
Well, I need to know why she's in the scene and why they're dancing.
Yeah.
Whereas in the movie, they really were like,
Yeah.
this is why.
I got you on that.
Okay.
I get it. Quick shout out to cameo of Cheetah Rivera, who is actually seated in the first scene in the prison. Cheetah Rivera played the original Velma Kelly on stage. So soon after this, we meet several other women who are also accused of crimes, including Velma Kelly, the famous vaudeville performer, who, of course, is on trial for her murder of her husband and her sister. And we go into Cell Block Tango.
So I may go back a little bit. I may like reverse a little bit on what I said earlier, because this also is one of the most recognizable scenes in Chicago.
I think that I agree with you in regards to it's probably a lot of people's favorite number, but
yes.
I don't think it's the most recognizable
Yes.
number.
Okay.
I think that it is the fan favorite. I think that everyone just lives for this song, especially the way it's done in the movie.
Yes.
But I think you were right about All That Jazz being the most recognizable, but this song being like the fan favorite. This number being
among females.
Especially among females.
Among females, for sure.
I think that, once again, the way it's choreographed is really, really cool. The way it's filmed is unique.
Yes.
It is probably the most theater staged type of number, in my opinion. The way that the cell doors are, coming in and out of the scene, the way that the dancers come in and out of the scene. Like I
Mm-hmm.
feel that you could move that number to stage and it would be just as, just as cool, because the way it is done on stage, it is very different than how it's done in the movie.
The idea of the red scarves versus the white scarf in the choreography is just genius. Every time a red scarf came out when they said how their husband or lover was killed, it was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, quick little side note, going over all of the different murderesses
Mm-hmm.
and why they killed their husband or lover.
Mm-hmm.
Which ones do you think were warranted and which ones do you think were straight up murder?
Well, I mean, well, they were all murder
I know, but I
except
mean
for
like
except for one of the girls.
well, I know they all murdered their husbands, but like who
Who
deserved
was the
it and who was an overreaction?
who deserved it?
So you got Pop. That's deserved.
No, that's silly. Come on. The six wives thing, I mean, that's pretty
Oh, well, he's
ridiculous.
lying to her. So guess what? She got mad. Wait, you're
Yeah,
saying that she shouldn't have killed him?
and that one's also a little bit like you could just leave the man. Um,
Squish was the you've
the
been screwing the
milkman.
milkman. He was angry. So she stabbed him 10 times, but if he was
Eh.
coming towards her,
Oh, well, if he was gonna attack her, that is
mm-hmm.
different. But we don't really know if that's the case. That's what she's claiming. Yeah.
Yes, but well,
If any of them, that's probably the one that's the most, because then we also have
well, you have She tells her story in Hungarian, and
she's innocent.
basically she's innocent.
And then we have
Cicero
Velma, who caught her husband and sister.
warranted.
Yeah, I guess.
Kill him.
I guess. And then the last one, which is
Lipschitz.
Lipschitz. I mean, yeah, it was just a cheater. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that one is. I mean, he cheated, but it's a little less of a big deal because the other one was her husband and her sister. So I guess I would put that as a little bit of an overreaction. And where do you think Roxy's compares to the rest of them?
That's the most foolish because she got herself into that jam.
You think that he should have said he was leaving, threw her against the dresser, and she should have just let him walk out.
Right? Because she got herself into that pickle.
Yeah,
She shouldn't have been having an affair to begin with.
they're all warranted. I'm just kidding.
Right? Seems like. I better not piss you off. Speaking of our different cell block tango girls, we had, of course, the choreographer was in this number, which was Denise Faye. And also we had Deirdre Goodwin, who was a very popular Velma herself on stage.
Stunning, gorgeous, and I mean they're all gorgeous in the scene, but Deidre looks gorgeous in this scene.
I love her hair. It's such a cool hairstyle.
I just love. I mean, she looks great, but her lips in this scene, she just is. She's so sexy.
Yeah, she really is. So soon after this, Mama Morton gives Roxy some advice about hiring the best lawyer in Chicago, which is actually Velma's lawyer, and that is Mr. Billy Flynn. And we go into his first number of All I Care About. So, least favorite song?
um, while it's not
This is my least favorite.
While it's not topping my list, it's not my least favorite.
Okay, well, it's definitely my least favorite. I think the best thing about this
This
number...
is your bathroom break song.
Oh, definitely. I think I got up recently and went to the restroom for this. But yeah, and I think the best thing about this number is the choreography and the costume design. I definitely, can say that they designed all of the really pretty like showgirl outfits. I thought that was probably the best thing
Mm-hmm.
about it. Other than that, honestly, not my favorite number.
Yeah, it's not. It's mid. It's. Do I sound like a youth?
Yeah,
It's
you do.
mid.
Yeah, a millennial. Wait, millennial? No, that's
No,
so not
that's
you.
that's what we
That's we
are.
are. But anyway, yeah, you sound like a
Do I
young.
sound like a young?
So Flynn and Roxy manipulate the press. They reinvent, well, basically he comes up with this plan to reinvent Roxy as originally like a virtuous southern woman who was corrupted by the city's nightlife, and she claims that she had an affair with Casely because Amos was always working, like how dare him. But she's repented now, and she's left Casely to go back to her husband, and that, it was all a jealous attack that happened on her. And we jump into this, media frenzy number that's called We Both Reached for the Gun.
I think it's crazy how many numbers we get in a row and like how fast paced this movie is. Like it's like boom, boom, boom. Not in a bad way. It doesn't feel like it's going quick, but it's so well paced.
That could also be another reason why a lot of people like this movie, because even if you're not a huge musical fan, the pacing does definitely crank up.
Mm-hmm.
I think people like that. They don't want to be sitting
Yes.
through a 3-hour musical.
I love Richard Gere's chemistry with Renee Zellweger. All of their argument scenes are so good, and all of their, tit for tat kind of when they're figuring things out and kind of right now they're kind of figuring out what they're going to say, and then later in the movie you see them arguing, and just
Mm-hmm.
their chemistry together is so good. Similar to, I love all of the scenes with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Queen Latifah. Their chemistry together is just so good. I will say I do think this is one of my favorite numbers. I think it's so well done. The makeup, the puppet makeup. I love Renee's makeup in this. I know I keep talking about her makeup, but it just fits her face so well. Her eyelashes, her lower lashes, her lips. So gorgeous. Um to backtrack a little bit, I love the scene right before this with Roxy and Velma, and Velma is low key sabotaging her and telling her like, you know, get a word in. He's not going to let you talk,
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
it's the whole reason why, he tells her to shut up, and then
Yeah.
we go into this number, but she's trying to sabotage her and make her, go in front of the mic and sound dumb. Um, yeah, I think it's such a cool scene.
Yeah, one of my best friends, Holly, and I did this number in like a college cabaret night event that we had, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, we didn't have all of the dancers like behind us and stuff, but just being able to practice with her on my knee as a dummy, that was a lot of fun.
This is also the scene where we're introduced to Mary Sunshine, played by Christine Baranski.
So funny in this role.
She really is so
Yeah.
good in this role.
It's like a small featured part, and she makes the best of it, seriously.
Hmm.
She's got some cool outfits too.
She does. Um, Another thing about the choreography, and I don't know if anybody else got this similarity, but when they show the camera up scene, or the camera up, and you see Richard Gere is holding all of the different strings, did it remind you of NSYNC's video for It's Gonna Be Me?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if there was a little bit of inspiration from that. I don't know. I
I
wasn't a
don't
really
know.
big NSYNC fan. I mean, I know the video, but sorry, I was a BSB boy.
Well, I liked BSB more, but I do remember that video. And so watching it again, I was like, oh, it reminds me of that music video.
Wait, what's that song called again?
It's Gonna Be Me.
It's gonna be.
It's gonna be me.
Got it. So Roxy ends up turning into this overnight sensation. This whole Roxy scandal. Everyone's talking about it. It's on the news. They're selling newspapers left and right, and it's basically made her
a local Chicago celebrity.
and we go into the next number, which is Roxy.
Yes. I was going to say, though, because you know that I love dolls.
Mm-hmm.
When they show the Roxy dolls, I want one.
Well,
I want a Roxy
I bet
doll.
there's a custom one out there. Not like
I
you need
wanna-
any more dolls.
I know, but
I bet there's a custom one out there. Someone that's made a custom Roxy and Velma doll, I bet.
I hope that those dolls did not just get like thrown away.
Oh, like maybe they're in like some Hollywood museum somewhere, or even
if
a
they're
prop
not,
shop.
even if they're not in a museum, I hope somebody on set, I hope they gave them away because they were so cool. I know that they were just little porcelain dolls, but they were so cool.
To like a prop master or like someone like that. That'd be cool.
I want one.
Or maybe I'm sure she got to keep one.
Yeah. Does anyone know if these are out there somewhere?
Roxy. How do you feel about the Roxy number? Well, actually, Roxy monologue and Roxy number. They really are two separate performances because the Roxy monologue is great.
The Roxy monologue should have won Renee Zellweger an Academy Award.
You're gonna have to give it up. This was a long time ago.
No,
she didn't win.
Who did she lose? Who did she?
I think Nicole Kidman that year. Was that the same year as The Hours?
Did she lose against the prosthetic nose?
No, wait, was it? Hold on, we're gonna have to Google this real quick.
There might be a little pause.
Yeah, but what did Nicole win for?
The Hours?
Has to be, right? Yeah, it was.
Oh, I need a recount.
Oh, Nicole Kidman definitely deserved that award over Renee. The Hours is brilliant. All three of those actresses deserved awards.
Well,
you're gonna have
agree to disagree.
Yeah, you're gonna have to let it go. I know it's gonna be hard for you, but this happened in.
Well, as I was saying, Roxy is.
This happened in 2003.
It's really affected me. This would have to be one of, if not my favorite scene of the movie. I love the monologue. I love the song. This silver costume is gorgeous.
One of my faves.
One of? Oh yeah, you already chose number one.
Yeah, one of my faves.
Number one was Queen. No, this, now that I'm thinking about it, this is my number one.
It's a great choice. The mirrors in this scene, the mirrors alone have their own choreography.
The mirrorography,
yes, the mirrorography,
so cool.
And is it my imagination, or is there like a slight celluloid like wash to the way that this number is shot? If you guys watch this or have it on DVD or stream it, we're still DVD people, by the way. Yeah, I feel like there's like a celluloid type of like wash that's over it. Not her monologue, or maybe even her monologue too. Just seems like it's filmed differently.
I just think that with her outfit being so sparkly and there's so many lights and there's so many mirrors, I think it almost made like a crystallized sheen over everything. It was just so bright and sparkly, almost not smoky. There's no smoke, but I can see how it almost made it like glow. I feel like it's glowing.
Yeah, it's literally like you said, the lightography, the mirrorography. It's all
the ographies are they're really working in this number, and I don't know. I just think that I could watch this number on repeat. I think that this is the best that Renee's voice sounds in the movie. It just makes me happy.
Okay, everyone. We know we have to break this up into 2 episodes because we are going to go so long, going into like an hour and a half episode. So we're going to break this one up into 2 parts. That may happen from time to time, but yeah, stay tuned next week for part 2 of our review on Chicago. And also, if you don't mind, please go drop us a follow on Instagram and on TikTok at Hollywood Hubbies. So Instagram, TikTok at Hollywood Hubbies. We're trying to get the accounts up to 1,000 followers because once we're at 1,000 followers, we can start going live and start doing like Q&As and things like that. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and be back here next week for part 2.